formal action was taken. And that ends the closed session report.
Thank you. The special city council meeting is now adjourned. Before I begin the regular city council meeting, I would like to inform members of the public that I will be taking public comment for non-agenda public comment and for items on the agenda via teleconference line. Those wishing to address the city council may call 562-299-6622 when I make that announcement. Persons speaking are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. Your comments will be recorded and you will be advised when your time has ended. Once your time has ended, the call will be immediately disconnected. For those who have submitted their comments via email, your comments will be read into the record at the appropriate times during the meeting, and no additional public comment will be permitted via teleconference. I would like to call to order the regular city council meeting. City Clerk Duarte, will you please take roll?
Yes, Mayor. I would like to inform members of the public that Councilmember Ashton is participating in this council meeting via teleconference. Councilmember Ashton?
Present.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Here.
Councilmember Saab?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Present.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Present. Thank you. I would now like to invite up Martin Fain to do the invocation for us.
Just turn the mic on. You could turn the mic on.
Use the microphone, please.
Yes, so those participating virtually can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for being the good, loving, and kind God that you are. God, we are just so thankful that you have assembled this meeting together. Please give wisdom to our council members. Help them to guide this city to growth and prosperity, to keep everyone in mind as we do so. Lord, we are just so thankful that as we've been going through this COVID pandemic, you are walking beside us. You are keeping us protected. We ask for your continued protection as we go through this crisis. Lord, we love you. We praise you. In your son's name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. I would now ask Mayor Pro Tem Frometa to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
If we can please put our hand over our heart and let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before I go on to council member announcements, I'd like to do a presentation. I would now like to invite up anybody here from Food Help. So Food Help is here before you, and I'm recognizing them with the Mayor's Impact Award. The Mayor's Impact Award is given to those individuals who have had an impact within our city, and Food Help continuously makes an impact within our city. They have been helping our Downey residents and the residents outside of our city for many years. Every Saturday, they have given food to those families that are in need. And this was done pre-COVID. And during COVID, they stepped it up. And they work endless hours, and they do this because they care. And so because of that, I am recognizing them with the Mayor's Impact Award for always continuously thinking about others, and because of their love for the community and for the residents. So I have here an award in recognition of your selfless dedication and always going above and beyond for others, Your heartfelt efforts and accomplishments have been of enormous value to our community and help to further the common goal of making our city a better place. Thank you to each and every one of you for working so hard, for working so tirelessly, and for making such an impact in our city. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite up who will be speaking.
First, I'd like to say thank you. It is a great honor, but it's not why we do what we do. We really do this. We love our community. It's not just Downey, it's also our surrounding communities as well. And really, what I've seen during this time is the entire community of Downey has stepped up. We've had lots of residents bringing food, donating money. We've had several civic organizations participate. We've had a citywide food drive. So it really shows the bond of this community. It is a city that cares and loves each other from within. So we're just so thankful to be honored with this. And we know that God has met us on the corner of 4th and New Street during this time, and we're going to continue to do and let Him guide where we go. So thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to speak?
Okay, let me say thank you, Mayor. This is awesome. We don't do it for recognition, but because this community has stepped up and helped us so greatly, our next step is to build a storage facility for additional food. The Kaiser Foundation has stepped up and donated money. Supervisor Hahn has donated money, and we've been working with the city building and safety. We just got permits just this week, so we're really excited. So next step towards serving this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been waiting for this guy for 10 years. I'm gonna say.
Now is the time for city council member announcements, requests for future agenda items, conference meeting reports. And I'll start off to my far left with Councilmember Alex Saab.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Welcome. I know we lost some people here in the audience, but what a nice tribute to an incredible organization comprised not just of the 6 individuals who were here, but there's dozens and dozens of others who help out on the weekend, on the Friday, preparing the bags, and then on the Saturday, and obviously during the week. So we're just very fortunate to have them in our community. Thank you once again to Food Helps. Want to recognize a few people in the audience. I know my planning commissioner, Noveris Frometa, was here. There he is. Welcome, Noveris. And also welcome to Executive Director of I think that's him, hiding behind the mask, Michael Calvert, Executive Director of the Downey Chamber of Commerce. Welcome. If you haven't seen the downtown, obviously we all know we closed part of the downtown, but some new kiosks have been popping up in the downtown that gives the story of our city and our downtown area, and it's a really nice tribute. And I want to thank our city manager. It was his idea, I think, a couple years ago. He mentioned he was going to bring that, and great job on that. It looks really good, and I know the residents are going to appreciate it once they learn more about it and they read up on it. So school starting this week. I know there's a lot of anxiety right now with the distant learning. Just want to make sure that everyone knows that we're all in this together. The district's been doing a great job in communicating out to the students and providing iPads and devices. But having said that, I did want to bring something up. City, and I think we all got an email from a resident today, and he's brought it up in the past, and I think he's absolutely right. Regarding fast internet connectivity in the city, I know that people think the city can just lay down fiber optic cable in the city and that's it, and costs literally tens of millions of dollars to be able to do that. But he did bring up the city of Fullerton has partnered up with an organization that is doing some infrastructure upgrades with respect to high-speed connectivity. I think it's gigabit.now.com. I guess it's some kind of partnership that to improve the connectivity of Wi-Fi in the city. So I just if we can maybe just look into how we can improve that and how we can, I don't know what options, if any, there are out there. We now more than ever we're more and more dependent on faster and faster connectivity to the internet, and I think we need to we need to look at that and see how we can help our residents. Today we had an opportunity to visit Station 3. Thanks to Measure S, we've had 2 of our stations completely redone, both on Paramount and the one now on Florence, Station 4, and Station 2 over on Imperial is shuttered and will be starting construction soon. What a great facility for firefighters. I want to thank the chief. There he is in the corner for being the leader that you are and really helping our this transition, which is it's a little bit challenging, but we know that the facilities look great and they're good for another 50, 60 years, just like the last facilities. They really are state of the art, and we're happy that the residents' money is going directly to what was promised that it was going to go to, which was new stations, additional police officers, new parks, and whatnot. So thank you for all those involved. I know John Oscoe and obviously our city manager, Gilbert Levis, were instrumental in that. And, I think it was definitely above our expectations. So thank you for all that. We also had an opportunity to visit Discovery Park over off of next to the Space Center, and it looks great. There's a big new soccer field there that was redone, and invite all of you to go there. And then also, I'm sure most of you noticed on the way in the new fire memorial as you walk into City Hall. So lots of great things. These are the fruits of our community's efforts, thanks to public Measure S. And we just want to thank all those that were involved. And that concludes my comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next up, we have Mayor Pro Tem Claudia Fermetta.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see your partially covered faces. Thank you for being here with us this evening. I'm going to keep my comments short, as Councilmember Saab mentioned earlier this evening. We did tour the facilities, Station 3, and the Fire Station Memorial, or the Firefighters Memorial, as well as Discovery Park. And as he indicated, it's really a pleasure to see all of these things coming together. It's been quite a year for all of us and in the world, but from our city's perspective, it is so nice to see that the people and what the people wanted and the hard work of this city continue to deliver what was promised years ago through Measure S. So thank you, City Manager and John Oscui, for your diligence and your hard work on that. I think over the next several months, we will see 2 additional fire stations, Fire Station 2 and 4, and I think we can't wait to see those as well. But let me tell you, again, some weeks ago, the accomplishments of the city were unveiled through our social media platforms, through the City of Downey government agency, and as well as in print. Some copies were made available here at City Hall. And it is really outstanding to see that over the last fiscal year, 23 capital improvement projects were completed throughout our city, totaling $18 million. And again, in an era where there's a lot of cuts and there is a lot of uncertainty from a financial standpoint, the city continues to make those promises come to fruition. And over the next several weeks and months, we will see that the repavement of some of our streets in some certain corners of the city will be taking place. And again, these are not just randomly selected. These have been chosen through our city's street management plan. And I think that, again, goes back to our residents and making sure that the quality of life that we enjoy in this community continues to move forward. Through this pandemic, I think we've discussed at great length the various ways that this city has been proactive in helping our residents. And now we don't have unlimited amount of funds, but through the Housing and Urban Development and the CARES Act, which is the COVID-19 Response Act, the city received over $643,000. And because of a program that the city created to assist tenants, provide financial assistance to residential tenants in need, we received 457 applications. And again, I think I make mention of this because we want to continue to let our community know, those that join via Zoom, those that join us here in person, that we continue to work diligently on behalf of our residents, and we will continue to do so. We don't know what the rest of 2020 holds, but we are very hopeful that we will continue to finish the projects that are still in the process of completion through Measure S, our city library and the other areas. I think our parks, we're almost at completion. The park that will be finished last is Wilderness Park, and it actually is finished. The only reason it's not open is because the ponds are still in process of being completed. And as a safety precaution for our public, we haven't been able to fully open that, even though the park itself is completed. I would like to also remind those on Zoom and those individuals that are joining us here in person that as we begin back to school, and the back to school is through distance learning this week, and also a lot of people continue to work from home. I would like to remind all of us of the consideration that we need to have as we continue to be good neighbors to one another, and make sure that we look at our noise element, and making sure that as we have gatherings, which we shouldn't be having through this pandemic to begin with, but that we also are mindful of the noise ordinance that we have in place in the city. There's a lot of activity happening in our residences because people are staying home, and so we want to make sure that we're all considerate with one another and in that regard. One thing, I do have just one thing for staff this evening, and again, Aldo, if we can please look into this. As I drive around our city, I see some of our commercial areas that I don't know if because of the situation that we found ourselves in over the last several months, some of these businesses are not being able to pay for gardening or repairs or simply the trash collection. And there's many areas within our city, down Florence, down Lakewood, down Firestone, commercial areas that are really suffering from additional trash and debris. And so if we can, take a look at that and make sure that those owners of those commercial strip malls are a little bit more in tune with what's happening so that those don't get neglected, that would be really good. I also want to thank our chief of police and our police department for continuing to take a look at the enforcement of our speed limits throughout our major thoroughfares. Thank you, Chief. Thank you for that. I know that we don't have children crossing school these days, but certainly continuing to monitor those areas is of high interest to our residents and in our residential areas as well. So thank you for the job that you're doing. And Madam Mayor, that will conclude my comments this evening.
Thank you. Next up, we have Councilmember Sean Ashton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was happy to see all of the improvements that we got a chance to take a look at today. The firefighters memorial in particular being that something that I've asked for a while, and it's finally good to see that being installed last week. And I know we have the plaques for the two firefighters that passed in the line of duty, that those are going to be installed pretty soon as well. So thank you to my colleagues for supporting that. And with that concludes my comments. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have Councilmember Rick Rodriguez.
I like the way you say that, last but not least. Thank you. Well, thank you for allowing me to sit in this seat. I, like my colleagues to my left and John Ashton online, went today to cut the ribbon for our fire station number 3, paid tribute to our fire memorial outside here, and also cut the ribbon for our Discovery Park. A job well done for our city employees. They worked diligently for the past years to get all this stuff done in a timely manner. One of the things I'm very proud of is our clergy council. Our clergy council, along with our Downey Care Collaborative effort we put forth in the past few years. Most recently, I've been approached by a group in Long Beach called Operation Jumpstart. And Operation Jumpstart takes kids in 8th grade to their senior year and to graduation into college or some form of career. They've asked to collaborate with our Downey Care Collaborative and our clergy council to help, because all of our foster kids within our city, they all, 100% of them, all graduate. So I'm very proud to announce that we're working on a collaboration with not just Long Beach, but a few other cities to fall in line that will help their foster kids as well as other kids at risk to graduate high school and move on with a career and avoid the idea of homelessness. We also, Blanca and myself, I shouldn't speak for you because you've seen it yourself, but we attended the Citizen Academy graduation a few weeks back. And what a, Chief, I have to tell you, what a tremendous you know, congratulations to you. Thank you to you. Your staff put together a wonderful curriculum for our residents to be part of that class. And I think what do we have? Over 200 graduates now? Yeah. How many do we have? 24 classes. Over 200. Yeah, so over 200 graduates that have graduated, given their time to be part of the police department as a volunteer group. And these people were they were amazed on all that the police department, all they do day in and day out. And so, and then lastly, I just want to mention how thankful I am that in today's world, where a lot of churches are fighting and discussing the issue with their local governments about where to meet, how to meet, and so forth. I'm very proud of our city, and our churches are meeting outdoors. They'll continue to meet and to organize and have their services outdoor and continue to help people within our community and surrounding communities. So I'm thankful for that we don't have that kind of a little bit of a blemish where the churches are fighting with the city government. We actually have our churches are supporting us, and we're doing the same with them. So thank you, Gilbert, for your leadership in helping our churches do that. So, Madam Mayor, that's it for me. All done.
Thank you. So thank you, and welcome everyone to our council meeting. Some events that I attended the Citizens Academy graduation, which is a 10-week program designed to expose our residents to various aspects of law enforcement and to the day-to-day operations of our Downey police operations. And every time I talk to somebody about this program, they rave about the program. In fact, I want to share an email that I received from a Downey resident. In the email, he wrote, "Dear Mayor Pacheco, I recently completed the Downey Police Citizens Academy, and I want to express my gratitude to you and the rest of the City Council for this wonderful program. At a time when police organizations are being scrutinized, the Downey Police Department certainly stands out as a model organization. It was a gratifying experience learning about the operations of the Downey Police Department and how they work to keep our community safe. Thank you for supporting this type of program. It is programs like this that keep our communities engaged and safe." So to our police chief, thank you. This is a wonderful program. I received this email and a lot of nice emails about our police department, but I just wanted to share this one because it was specifically about our Citizens Academy. And I know I've been asked questions about when our next academy will be. Is that in January?
We're hopeful to have it in January. Of course, it depends on a number of things, but that's our hope. We were hoping to have it earlier, but with the last delay, I think we are on the side of caution, probably not the first.
And then people have to apply for it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Also, I did want to mention the Census Parade. I participated in the Census Parade on August 1st. The deadline to submit the census is on September 30th. It is extremely important that we all take the census, that we all get counted, because this affects the planning and funding of our education, healthcare, infrastructure improvements, and employment and training. So it is crucial for all of us to take the census. Again, it is due September 30th. And as you've heard, we've done a lot of things in our city. We remodeled 2 of our fire stations, our parks, Golden Park, Furman Park. Today we went to visit Discovery Park. So there's a lot of things happening in our city. We will be opening, or not opening, but our library and our Downey Theater should be remodeled within the next couple of months. So it's an exciting time, but it has been a tough year, and we certainly understand that at City Hall. And so because of that, you've heard a lot of times where we have declared moratoriums on evictions to prevent our tenants, both commercial and residential tenants, from being evicted. We also have rental assistance program that was done where we set aside $700,000 to help our tenants, residential tenants who are in need. So we continuously do things to help our residents and business owners. What I would like to also do is see if we could have, we could allow our Downey our residents to write for free on the Downey link, if that's a possibility, to help our residents during, again, these difficult times.
Madam Mayor, sure, we'll look into that, absolutely.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
Thank you. And I did want to announce there will be a virtual Rocket Fever this Saturday. We're doing things a little differently. Instead of going to the Space Center, you can join in Rocket Fever virtually. This will be done via YouTube, and you can get more information about this event by visiting the Columbia Memorial Space Center's social media websites, both on Facebook and Instagram. The event will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that concludes my comments. Now is the time for non-agenda public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the City Council regarding non-agenda public comments may now call our teleconference phone line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record. Conference will be permitted. Before we begin the non-agenda public comment period, I would like to remind members of the public participating telephonically that the city's meeting rules contained in the Downey Municipal Code prohibit any conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, even if you are participating telephonically. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the council on issues that are within the city's jurisdiction. Since we are under federal, state, and local emergency declarations and Los Angeles County Safer at Work and in the Community Order, I will limit the non-agenda public comment period to 30 minutes pursuant to Downey Municipal Code Section 2105G. City Clerk Duarte, do we have any speakers on the phone?
Do not, Mayor.
City Clerk Duarte, have we received any written correspondence on non-agenda items to be read into the record?
We have, Mayor. I have 8 emails here.
Okay.
First email is from Morris Carr. Please consider the fact that this nightclub pretending to be a restaurant brought these problems to our street. We should not have to pay to alleviate same. After seeing the gate proposal, some of my neighbors, including myself, would prefer you consider most individuals who live near me may not mind an entire brick wall. Respectfully, Morris A. Carr. Next email is from Raquel Mijangos. I am a resident of Downey, California, and I want to know how it was justifiable to increase the police budget, which already accounts for over 40% of our city's total budget. We are in the midst of a pandemic resulting in residents to fear eviction as they are now unemployed. I urge you to reallocate the $2.4 million to your citizens who ask to keep their roof over their heads. I am simply urging you to actually help your people. Next email is from Celine Ortega. Good evening, Downey City Council. I am writing to express my anger, disappointment, and anxiety over your council's lack of support for the community of Downey. How can you all sit there and decide to increase the police department when we are in the middle of a crisis with COVID-19? How dare each of you sit there and decide that supporting the police is more important than supporting people who are in deep need of help right now in this community? I am disappointed to be part of this city and all of your lack of effort to find true resources to help people right now. And I am glad that a group as strong as Downey Resistance exists to bring awareness and justice to all of your eyes, because you all have been blind for years. Please learn to make changes for the sake of our community and wake up to what really matters. Next email is from Isabella Praslin. Hi, my name is Isabella Praslin, and I am an upcoming senior at Downey High School. I was made aware, along with many other Downey residents, that the Downey Council increased the Downey police budget to $2.4 million. This decision is clearly tone deaf as to what is going on in the community, with an uprising against police brutality and us being in a pandemic. These millions of dollars could have gone into something that will actually benefit the community, such as funding schools that will have to be switched to online, hospitals in Downey that are in desperate need of supplies, or people that live in Downey that need financial help from losing their jobs to COVID-19. This decision to increase the Downey police budget will have little to no positive effect on our community. Next email is from Gabriel Perez. I've just read that the Downey Council has unanimously voted to raise the Downey PD budget by $2.4 million, and I've got to say, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. In a city that's already very safe, why would you increase funding to a police department instead of programs to help the needy? It seems that the very wealthy city council is not paying attention to the needs of the people of the city. It's the job of the council to vote for the people, not against them. Wouldn't the council agree that there are lots of people in this city who could use the money? Instead of focusing on Downey PD, why aren't they focusing on the pandemic, on mortgage and rent relief, on distance learning for the students K through 12, for daycare? No, instead $2.4 million toward the police department. Round of applause, please. Do better, do right by the people. Next email is from Julieta Perla. Hello, Downey City Council. My question today is, why does the police need a $2.4 million budget increase when you have families that can't afford food or shelter during this pandemic? Why is there a budget increase that was passed unanimously in the midst of a movement against police brutality, which Downey PD does have a wrongful death against them? Explain to your citizens why the police budget is increasing millions when you have kids at school that have to pay for food. That's gross. And share computers, test books at time, so the Downey PD can hand out tickets for fun, no reason in their little motorcycles. This decision was completely ridiculous. How about you invest in your community that needs you instead of the police department in a city where crime is so low? Help those in need during this pandemic, especially. We are begging. Next email is from Yoko April Tamara. Hello, I am Yoko Tamara, a resident of Downey. I am here to demand that the City Council stop increasing the Downey PD budget. We need money going to the community. The city needs care, not cops. Is the City Council aware that policing is based on slave patrols and that the system of policing disproportionately affects Blacks, Indigenous, people of color, low-income, homeless, and people with mental illness? If you really care about the city of Downey, you would cut funds to the police. Give that money to the community. Fund programs that educate the public about how to take care of their neighbors. Create a citywide incentive that works to support the families and people who do not have access to public health. And the last email is from Mel Gutierrez. In this city meeting, the council will go over the pending litigation of Beretta versus City of Downey. It's important to note that this situation is something that happens everywhere and does not excuse the fact that police are not fit to address mental health problems. The fact of the matter is someone tried to commit suicide in our city jail, and the response to that is increasing the police budget. The city should have been allocating the money to parks and recreation, housing, and of course, public health. It's clear the working class, the heart of the city, does not want or need police to be increased. Instead of listening to families who are being displaced and have been displaced, the council ignores the cries for help. PIH Health Hospital released 2019 Community Health Needs Assessment, Families in Poverty in 90240, 4.5%, 90241, 8.6%, 90242, 12.8% in total. 25.9% of families are in poverty in 2019, but you continue to put more money towards the police. In 2019, Downey had a total of 389 domestic violence calls, which is more than the surrounding cities, and clearly an increase in the police has not helped that. Maybe it's because you all get to go home to pay your expensive houses, go on nice vacations, escape to your beach home, and you're privileged enough to simply focus on kissing the cops' ass and businesses, but get off this pedestal that you put yourselves on and acknowledge the fact that Downey isn't better than its surrounding cities and actually help the people who are asking for help. It's clear that the council takes pride in maintaining businesses happy, like shutting Downey Avenue down to let restaurants have big outdoor dining space, while completely disregarding we're in the middle of a pandemic and Downey continues to have high COVID cases. I hope you all realize the true damage you are doing to the city. The city is so proud of small businesses, yet on Imperial and Lakewood, how many small businesses had to close so a homophobic multi-million company, Chick-fil-A, can have another restaurant there? How can you say you care about the community and the city, meanwhile the after-school program and summer programs and parks and recreation don't even get anywhere close to what the police get? Cut your ties with police, invest in youth, invest in housing, invest in public health, put money where people need help. That is all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Members of the audience who wish to address the council regarding non-agenda items may now come forward.
Madam Mayor and elected officials, the development projects in not just one city, but in all cities, as you heard the defendant from Los Angeles, Luis Jose Huizar, served on the Economic Development Committee. As a public official employed by the city, Mr. Huizar owed a fiduciary duty to the city and its citizens, like you, and like you. But rather than serve the public's interests, Mr. Huizar engaged in free bias, conflicts of interest, self-enrichment, self-dealing, concealment, deceit, fraud, kickbacks, bribery. Motherfucker just kept stealing money from our tax-paying dollars while we suffer in the COVID-19 and go through this mental stress, go through the anxieties of being a family at home, worried about where the next fucking check comes, but instead we allowed an elected official to spread this development through its poor judgment and planning commissions. Ms. Claudia Fermenta, is your husband on a planning commission?
Mr. Herman.
We want to know because
Mr.
the
Herman.
bottom line is, hold on, I got the floor, Madam Speaker. Please do not interrupt me during
the
my
clock,
3
please?
minutes
Can you-
as you
Elisa,
engage
can you stop
in
the
a
clock?
Brown Act violation.
Mr. Herman, if you can't
and
calm
my
down, I
civil
will take a
rights.
break. Bring it down. You may begin.
Yes, Mommy. The little kids in the council chambers don't want me to raise my voice because the kiddies get upset of the facts that we had a biased criminal and corruption in local city government like the gateway cities.
So where's the money? Well, let's look at item 3 and 4 for the record. Measure S. Measure H was put in court regarding what? County Board of Supervisors settlement for stealing state and federal money. You dumbasses, Janice Hahn, and you especially, Ms. Catherine Barger, you fucking crooks. When does this end? the fleecing, the gutting of our tax-paying dollars to put into your pocket, buy your mansions, buy your fancy shoes, get the strippers, get the prostitutes, get all the whores that you like and eat and call dessert. Jose, we's are the boss. Well, today I'm the boss. I got the floor. 42 U.S.C. 1983, fuck you. 18 U.S.C. 242, 245, stop depriving me the right to speak and be heard. 42 U.S.C. 1983, Roybal Elder's a bitch, Kamala Harris is a cunt, and you, Captain Barger, fucked up with COVID-19. Fuck you for the record. And this is submitted for the record, 113 pages.
Can we clean the area? Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, that was a nice presentation, which the money was given by Mommy Han. Yes, my favorite pension queen, Janice Han. Pension after pension after pension. Yes, and she even wants to run the sheriff's office, which, of course, I've often said, if she wants to run the sheriff's office, she needs to run for sheriff. I've gotten her upset at the meetings because I've held up some gloves, and she didn't like that because I will say it. Janice Han thinks money grows on trees. Well, obviously, you've picked some of the money off the money tree that Janice Han believes grows on trees. I don't know where this money comes from. It's nice, but I guess it does grow on trees. Let me know. I'll bring my gloves, and I'll go out picking some money off the money trees. Janice is very generous. Too bad she's... And then she wants to let all the criminals out. So your neighborhood could be filled with criminals. It's called alternatives to incarceration. Of course, I call it rioting. But after all, Janice wants to be sheriff. I even have 3 wonderful ideas so she could be our sheriffs. Ideas for her campaign. The first billboard, Janice Han for sheriff. I'll coddle criminals. Or the second idea, for the 14 by 48 billboards, which we would love to have in this city. Willie Horton endorses Janice Han for sheriff. Or, of course, pension queen Janice Han for sheriff. Boy, you guys have a great supervisor. Not. She's living on Daddy's name, taking our money, and, of course, as usual, with her and her other 4 colleagues, misusing it. After all, nobody's caught her yet, but at least you can thank her when the criminals go roaming around as alternatives to incarceration. Hey, what's a few more rapes, robberies, riots, murders when we coddle criminals like the Hans? After all, who needs a safe city anyway? The police are just here to be window dressing, I guess, just like the sheriffs now. If you have trouble downtown LA when you try to go to your supervisor meetings, the sheriff's hands are tied. Maybe we can tie the police chief's hands just the way Mommy Han ties the sheriff's hands. After all, what have you got to lose but your life, your property, and other things too? Wonderful, Janice Han, wonderful. Another fuck up by Janice Han. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I bought these beautiful flowers because I wanted to bring something beautiful to LA downtown. Los Angeles is unsafe, it's ugly, it is a stink bomb, and it's highly uninhabitable and highly undesirable. But here in Downey, boy, this is a lovely city. I have to applaud you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem that is affecting all cities, and that is defunding the police department. I am against defunding any and all departments, even the homeless people. I'm homeless by design. When you are on the streets, you need the police. And let me tell you, air support and LAPD, bravo. Man, those guys got balls. You don't know what they have to put up with, these tweakers. They have to deal with the white trash junkies. They have to deal with the Skid Row niggers. They got to deal with the Chango gangbangers, the pussies. And they got to deal with all the criminal elements high on drugs. And they taunt, they provoke, and they even throw things at police. God bless our law enforcement. I stand up and I fight for them, and I will defend them. They do not need to take funding away, especially like LA City wants to defund them of 150 million. Hell no. You bring them their rightful due. Who are the people that are actually robbing the city? It is the politicians, not you yet. I am not saying that. The real crooks are the politicians and the county board of supervisors. You got the faggot Eric Garcetti, City Attorney Michael Feuer, Nori Martinez, Joe Buscaino, Dave Rue, Marquise Harris Dawson, Monica Rodriguez, Gil Cedillo, Paul Krikorian, Bob Blumenfield, Curran Price, Paul Koretz, Mitch O'Farrell, Mike Bonin, and Rick Jacobs, and Ron Galprin, and Homeboy Industries, and all the other schmucks and shysters. They are robbing the city. And now the county board of supervisors, Mark Ridley Thomas, Catherine Barger, Janice Hahn, Hilda Solis, and Jackie Lacey. They have also robbed the people, not the police department. These people, the police officers, they bust their butts night and day. You don't know what it is when they have to deal with the homeless. These are violent, combative, and utterly hostile individuals that take on the cops. Not all of them surround and ambush cops all the time, but you never talk about it. The fake media won't tell you that. I see it in Skid Row, I see it in downtown, and I see it in many cities. And I stand up and say, I will be your witness, officers. So help me God if I'm alive to see it. Same with air support. I love you too, pilots. So having said that, let's vote these crooks out. Vote them out and tell the people the truth. It is the politicians that are robbing the people. They are misappropriating funds, and they are living in high corruption. They are committing the crimes, poverty, drugs, opiates. That's how they stay afloat. They purchase all these thugs. They hire and contract all the gangbangers, the pussies, and that's what they do.
Thank you, ma'am.
And that's how
Thank
they
you.
keep their businesses afloat.
Thank you.
God bless Donald Trump in America.
Thank you.
Racist, ignorant.
Thank you. God bless America.
Lee Squire, Vietnam veteran, member of the American Legion, civil rights advocate for the elderly and the disabled. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Subject, Fire Station Number 3 and the American flag. Last week, the flagpole was installed by 2 staff from the Downey Public Works Department, and I want to thank them for that. On the same day, the American flag was raised to the top of the flagpole and then lowered down to halfway in memory of the 1 Navy and 8 Marines who were killed in an accident off of San Clemente Island. I want to thank the fire chief and all the firefighters who participated in the raising of the flag and for allowing me to participate. We all saluted the raising of the flag and the lowering of the flag. God bless America, our U.S. troops, and our military veterans, and God bless our local policing and communities across America. All lives matter, and all children's lives matter, regardless of the color of their skin. Thank you.
I want to open up with, if you support Trump and you don't accept his racism, then there's something wrong with you and you should get educated. But setting that aside, let's get to business. I want to know where John Askewy was today and yesterday, because again, he had a meeting at the Central Basin. He was supposed to be present. Now be aware, guys, and I'm tired of repeating myself. He's supposed to be doing his job. He's getting paid with tax dollars from Downey and from the county that exceed over $300,000, right? Is that not his salary? You gotta make sure I'm not talking to him directly, right? Because you wanna interrupt me. But here we go, I'm gonna play this. This is a recording from the Central Basin for the record. You're gonna hear that they're gonna call roll call and someone's not gonna be present.
Director Apodaca? Yeah, I don't hear it. Director Hawkins?
Here.
Okay. Director Chacon?
Present.
Director Askewy?
All right, so by the way, we have plenty of more recordings to come. He's been absent to a lot of the meetings. Now, if you wanna know why this is happening, it's simple. In order to have a quorum at the basin, you need the appointed directors. They don't represent you, by the way. They represent the water purveyors that appointed them, including Downey. If they're not present, then there can't be a quorum. And if there can't be a quorum, then the Central Basin, which represents you and your votes, cannot conduct business in regards to your water and your representation. So what he does with elected member Apodaca is intentionally refuse to go to work because he knows that there will be no quorum, there will be no establishment of the budget that we need to pass in order to keep the agency solvent. And this is going to ultimately put the agency in a crippling situation where they're going to be say, see guys, it's falling apart, but it's falling apart because you are attacking it. It's falling apart because you're not doing your job and because the city council is refusing to fire someone that's instigated assaults against another individual, someone that continues to not show up to work, and people who are clearly defending their own interests. So this is where we got to start getting more harder with the hits. Rick Rodriguez needs to explain why he's giving contracts to his son's company. How much is that? How much money? We'll bring that up at the next council. You need to explain, Pacheco, why you're putting yourself ahead of projects as a manager when you have no business putting yourself in positions where you're managing projects for the city.
Thank you.
That's not your job description.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak?
Okay, so first I would like to start off by saying that I've been here a couple of times and I have received a tremendous amount of support for projects that I have been a part of from the City Council, and I really appreciate that. And because of that, we are always here to support you as students, and we are always here giving our time. And I want to say that that is incredible, except for when we ask questions and they are not answered. I know that there are a lot of people that have questions that are your incoming voters like me, and we're not being listened to. We keep being ignored, and a lot of the information we end up obtaining comes from social media, and it should come from our city. It should come from the people that are leading us, and we just kind of want to know what's going on in our city, but usually we don't even get that because we're not treated with enough respect, because we're not old enough. And then when we are old enough to vote, it's our own job to figure things out. And I think that there needs to be a little bit more support for the youth, because we are coming and we are going to be the ones electing, and we are going to be here the whole time, and we just want respect like we show to you, like we are always taught to show to elders or to people who are older than us, and yet we don't receive the same respect back. We are not listened to in many times. There was a lot of emails that were read today, and I definitely agree with many of them. However, a lot of people send in emails because they don't really know how to talk to the city council, and they don't know that they can't even talk to the city council. And I am lucky enough that I was able to know the city council before anything that I am saying up here, because it gave me more confidence to come up here. And there are a lot of people who don't know how to do that, don't think they can do that, and there are a lot of people who don't even understand that they can come up here or that they can give their opinion. And we just need to make sure that people know that they can come and talk to the city council, or else there's just going to be more and more upset people every time. And that just causes more problems later on in the future, because then people start attacking, and that's what we don't want. We want to get issues resolved. We don't just want to be fighting about things.
Thank you, Wendy. Wendy, I know you and I have already sat down. If you need to have more conversations, my door's always open. Like I mentioned to you when we had our meeting, I know we had our meeting for like well over an hour. My door's always open, and hopefully I was able to offer some kind of guidance with the school district, so that way you can have conversations over there. And I know we can't speak about any items that are not on the agenda, but I know if you reach out to any of the council up here, I know any one of them would be more than happy to speak with you like I spoke with you. And I know anyone else who has any issues, they're more than welcome to reach out to us, because we don't want people to not feel comfortable in speaking with us, to be engaged in the community. We want to engage our youth so that when they do become adults, they can become part of the community. And our police officers, you can always have a conversation with our police chief or any of our police officers as to any issues that you have. And like I said, I always have an open door policy.
Madam Mayor.
Okay, yes.
Wendy, I wanted to address your comment, and we've met you through the Walk for Water project over the last several years, and I think that it is clear from our standpoint how supportive we are of the community. Having said that, there is a lot of misinformation, and we have an open door policy, as Mayor Pacheco just indicated. We are more than happy to meet at any given time, and we have before. Unfortunately, this pandemic has brought about a lot of uncertainty, and unfortunately, as we used to do before and visit the schools, both Warren and Downey High School, we were not able to do that because of the distance learning and the COVID-19 situation. However, there are many, many, many opportunities to engage with us, and we are more than happy to provide as much information as we possibly can to dispel the myths, to dispel the misinformation that seems to run rampant these days. So again, I know you're an intelligent individual that has been involved in the community through various organizations. So I would encourage you to reach out to us, and we are more than happy to provide you with a lot of information, but we need to be very careful that we don't believe everything that is out there in the misrepresentation of our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Buenas tardes,
Good afternoon,
personal del concilio.
City Council members.
¿Cómo me gustaría que ustedes estuvieran diciendo las mismas palabras?
How I would like that you would say the same words
Cuando yo vine
when I came
para hablar sobre el problema de evicciones.
to talk to you about the eviction problem.
No fue así.
That was not the case.
Fuimos atacados.
We were attacked.
Y me da pesar, me da tristeza
And it saddens me
que todo lo politicen.
that you
Politize.
politize everything.
Ahorita tenemos muchos casos
Right now, we have a lot of cases
de inquilinos
of tenants
que están siendo acosados
that are being harassed
por sus dueños.
by the landlords.
Nada más hace 3 días
3 days ago,
tuve un inquilino que le dio un paro cardíaco por el acoso de su dueño.
I had a tenant who had a stroke because of the harassment by his landlord,
Y los casos siguen subiendo.
and the cases keep rising.
No es posible que todavía ustedes no quieran ver esto,
It's not possible that you still cannot see this,
donde los dueños están subiéndole sus rentas hasta un 35%,
where the landlords are raising rents up to 33%,
si no es más,
if not more,
y todavía siguen ciegos.
and you are still blind.
No estoy en contra de ustedes, siempre lo he dicho,
I am not against you. I've always said that.
pero sí estoy en contra de sus decisiones
But I am against your decisions
como miembros del concilio.
as members of the city council.
Nada más se los dejo de tarea,
I leave this to you as homework,
que empiecen a verificar
that you begin to verify
qué es lo que está pasando al alrededor
what is happening around you
con los inquilinos y dueños que se están tomando más de lo que es.
with the tenants and landlords who are taking more than they should.
Esperemos que así como ustedes ahorita le respondieron a la niña,
We hope that the way you responded to the young lady,
también me respondan a mí como líder del Downey Tenants Union.
you respond to me as leader of the Downey Tenants Union.
Por algo lo hice.
That's why I did it.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Give me a second, please. Hello, good afternoon.
Mi primer comentario tiene que ver con algo que va a ser importante para las elecciones.
My first comment is about something that is important regarding election.
Se trata del derecho del público de comunicarse con los concejales.
It is the right for the public to communicate with the council members.
Me pregunto, alcaldesa Pacheco, ¿cuántas personas ha bloqueado en Facebook?
I ask myself, Mayor Pacheco, how many people have you blocked on Facebook?
Me ha bloqueado a mí y por lo menos sé de una otra persona.
You have blocked me, and I know of one other person.
Esto es ilegal.
This is illegal.
Todos vieron que Trump fue prohibido de bloquear a personas.
Everybody is aware that Trump was prohibited from blocking people.
Los comentarios en un perfil de social media de concejales públicos
The profiles of council members that are public,
son un foro público para el público.
it's a public forum for the public.
Es importante que cualquiera de ustedes 5, incluyendo a Ashton, que no está aquí, pero nos está oyendo, desbloqueen a todas las personas, especialmente, definitivamente, votantes en Downey.
It is important that all 5 of you, including Ashton, who is not here but is listening, unblock everyone in the city of Downey
Y también todos los otros miembros del público.
and other members of the public.
Ok, mi segundo comentario también tiene que ver con la participación en la junta.
My second comment is about the participation in the meeting.
Y hemos visto precisamente en el Facebook que las personas están queriendo venir aquí. Podemos ver que hay muchos miembros del público participando.
We have seen through Facebook that many members of the public want to come here. They want to participate.
Y no entiendo por qué hay tantas sillas para los trabajadores.
And I don't understand why there are so many seats for the employees.
O sea, ¿por qué no se pueden sentar en su escritorio? No hablo de ella, hablo de, por ejemplo, acá tenemos a varias personas de diferentes departamentos. ¿Por qué no se pueden sentar y esos asientos pueden ser para el público?
Why are staff not able to join from their desk and not take up a seat? I'm not talking about her, I'm talking about the other staff members here.
Y no es nada de contra ninguno de los staff members.
Nothing against the staff members.
Es nada más porque pues estamos, se supone, en una democracia, ya se vienen las elecciones, es importante darle más voz al público.
It is because we are in a democracy, the election is approaching, and to give members of the public an opportunity.
Y bueno, por eso estoy, qué emocionante que sí hay varias personas en Downey que se están lanzando para estar allá donde ustedes están.
It is exciting to see many people from Downey who are willing to come forward and be where you are now.
Sí, porque pienso que realmente se puede ver que hay varios segmentos de la población de nuestra ciudad que no están siendo representados ahí en esa mesa.
Because I can see that there's many segments of the community that are not being represented at the dais.
Por ejemplo, es obvio que tenemos que apoyar a los jóvenes.
For example, it's obvious that we need to support the young people.
Entonces, por ejemplo, qué bueno que tenemos contra la alcaldesa a Alejandra Contreras.
It's a good thing that we have Alexandria Contreras opposing the mayor.
También sé que tenemos al joven Juan Martínez que se quiere sentar acá donde está Sab.
I also know that we have the young man Juan Martínez that wants to take over a council member sub seat.
Y también tenemos obviamente la fundadora de la Unión de Inquilinos de Downey, Catherine Álvarez.
And we also have the leader of the Downey Tenants Union, Catherine Álvarez.
Entonces, es muy emocionante estar en estos tiempos. Gracias a los ciudadanos de Downey por mostrarse dispuestos a hacer el cambio.
It's exciting that we are in these times. I thank you to the Downey residents for wanting to make this change.
Sí, pues como yo en este momento no vivo en Downey, pero crecí aquí y quiero mucho esta ciudad y quiero que personas reales del pueblo estén en esos asientos.
I currently don't live in Downey, but I was raised here, and I want these people to be in these seats.
Es muy importante que el pueblo sea representado honestamente.
It is important that the community is represented honestly.
Entonces, todos voten por el cambio en noviembre. Gracias.
So all of you vote for the change in November. Thank you.
Any other speakers? Second? Now is items. Members of the public wishing to address the City Council regarding consent calendar items may now call our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record, and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. City phone?
Mayor, we don't have any speakers
Do we have any written correspondence on consent calendar items to be read into the record?
We do not, Mayor.
Members of the audience who wish to address the council regarding consent calendar items may now come forward. Stay on topic.
Yes, Mommy. Mommy, did you read about Measure S, Mommy, and Item 3, Golden Park, Independence Park, Wilderness Park improvement projects of the $6 million of capital
Mr. Herman, just a second. In the back, you're being warned. Please sit down. The next time you stand up, you will be removed from the chambers.
Sorry, but my ADA requires me to stretch every so often because, like retarded people, we need to keep moving to understand.
Mr. Martinez.
You. Yes, Mom?
Please sit down.
I'm not Martinez. Be silly. Are you ready, Mommy? Okay. Change orders of original construction contract. What the fuck's this about? How can you change the original construction on a bond and grant that you keep stealing money from money laundering contracts and bribes? I want the FBI to investigate this acceptance of Measure S like Measure H. H, as I said to Miss Barger, Miss Hahn. Who fuck is stealing money, bitch? Then I go to the B&A Vanilla de Rojas for $105 an hour from Irvine, California, 949-589-6338. Now, does she have a master's degree to write a so-called authorized service agreement for grant writing? Well, I know how to fucking write. That's why I got $22 million out of you to fix the ADA ramps and the curves because you created programmatic access denial to people with disabilities. But I don't want her to have a 3-year contract. I want year-to-year contract because I want to make sure bitches are not stealing behind my back while I'm at work advocating about bitches like Jose Weezer, Eric Garcetti, and Mommy Catherine Barger, who lied about the COVID money when she said it was for capital improvement projects when she built those fucking fake hospitals. Then I'm going to authorize staff to submit a grant request for the 2020 Edward Burney Memorial Justice Grant. Well, you heard me earlier what I think about the justice system. That fat fucker from El Monte, Mayor, sits with Mr. What's that asshole name? The Jew guy from Eric Garcetti's city attorney's office. Mike Fiore, yeah. That asshole's been making fake TROs, putting slap against the public for participating in public meetings. I reserve my time, 42 U.S.C. 1983. Fuck you!
Any other speakers?
Mike Greenspan, Bruin butt kicking Florida Gator. Yes, a couple items I want to go over. One of them, it's about your number 9. Approve the donation of 2 foursomes of golf at the Rio Hondo Golf Course for the Rancho Los Angeles Foundation's fundraiser to raffle the benefit of patients at the Rancho Los Amigos National Rehab Center. A well-intentioned idea. And I'm grateful for these things called public golf courses. Why is that? Well, you see, when you have private country club golf courses, people get eliminated. Yiddish, Schwarzes, Mexicans. After all, when we had the opening prayer today, the pastor or whoever made reference to Jesus. Well, it was Christmas morning in 2010, and that old fad, what would Jesus do? Well, I figured it out. After all, you hear Tim Tebow, the Florida Gator, talk about Jesus. And you know what? He couldn't play golf at his club. Why? He's Jewish. I'm sorry, Mr. Christ. We only have Christian members at Timuquana Country Club. You see, public links courses play a vital role. People of all types who are willing to chase around a ball 7,000 yards are more than welcome to waste their time. Of course, I've tried playing golf, and I keep hearing the same 4 words, keep your head down. I just can't keep my head down and whack the ball. But, hey, have those people go at it. Now, number 10, about the League of Cities. It is wonderful that our League of Cities will be meeting locally.
That's on the administrative report.
Oh, are we not able to talk about that?
Not yet. You'll have an opportunity to speak on that.
Okay. Well, then let me go back to the number 9 and the golf course, because Donald Trump has a policy that anyone who's willing to pay now $200,000 could join his country club. Doesn't care the color of your skin or your race or anything else or your faith. He just cares about your $200,000. Way back when it was only 90,000, and they showed a thing on Palm Beach, and Madonna and Jewish people and black people and everybody else were a member of the club. But there were clubs in Palm Beach that didn't allow Jews, and you couldn't even bring them as guests. So I'm grateful, but as I say, not being an advocate for or against Trump, but just outlining his policy on his golf courses, even though they're private clubs. And it's great to be a Florida Gator and kick Bruin butt. We'll do it time and again. Just put us out there. And we'd like to invite those UCLA chickens, balk, 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 to come out to the swamp and get their butt kicked. Thank you.
God bless Donald Trump and God bless America. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to talk about number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, you discuss here the Golden Park, the Independence Park, and the Wilderness Park and project improvements. All parks basically are the same. They run the same. People go to the park to rest, relax, and just have a bit of respite from a daily stressful life. Now, the problem is, parks today are not like that. They house homeless criminals. So if you take a nap for about 15 minutes, guess what? They've stolen your bags, your purses, everything that you've won. So I caution you, do not take a nap in any park, because we've got a homeless crisis, poverty epidemic, thanks to the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors and City Hall, Los Angeles City Hall, because of the fraud, and corruption and abuses. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I would recommend all of you to take a lovely tour of the Music Center Grand Park. It's a beautiful park. It cascades from Spring, or from the Music Center, Department of Water and Power, all the way down to Spring Street, and it's across the street from City Hall. And now on it's a 4-block, and guess what? The Black Lives Matter have taken over block number 4, and now Julia Diamond, who is the director of Grand Park, they don't tell them anything. Why? They're afraid because they're black. And guess what? The poor housekeepers, Latinos, have to clean those trashy, dirty, filthy bathrooms. Why? Because all they do is get junkied out. These Black Lives Matter.
What does that have to do with number 3?
Well, what does that have to do? The parks are crawling with criminal elements. It also houses junkies in the bathrooms. You've got brawls in bathrooms, not just in Los Angeles, but I can assure you it happens here in Downey, in all parks, Glendale, Burbank, in the most beautiful parks. I've heard them from all, and I've been to all of them. And so the same thing runs amok. You've got junkies doing drugs in bathrooms. You've got rapes in bathrooms too. and not just in the Music Center Grand Park. It's all over. You've got a crisis, a homeless crisis. And that's where people go to hang out. They go to parks. So as someone who knows the parks very well, I tell you, be careful. Do not take a nap in a park. You will get robbed. They will rob your electronics. As many employees have taken a little bit of a dose from city or the county because it overlaps jurisdiction where they go take a little bit of a nap or rest. They get their electronics stolen, their bikes stolen, everything. And these thieves, these junkies, they are Skid Row niggers. They are white trash junkies. They are Chango gangbangers and all the others. They come in bikes and they quickly grab and take your stuff. So be careful.
Ma'am, your time is up.
God bless America. God bless Donald Trump.
Racist. Idiot.
Grow up.
Hello again. I'd like to make a comment about number 5. So I see the phrase, safe, clean drinking water program, municipal program, flood control, etc. So clearly we all want clean water. We want to be able to control floods. These public works keeps coming up again and again. But I would just, I think it's going to be important, the city, for everyone listening here and online, the city keeps saying, and when I say city, I mean certain council members, they keep saying that there's bad actors, that there's activists who are claiming that the water is not safe. And they're saying it is. So clearly we all are invested in this. We want our water to be clean. So it's very important for everyone to investigate. I encourage everyone to really dig into it. Just because the government says one thing does not make it true. Right? We all know the government lies. That it may not be always clear, but governments lie. That's just what governments do. So right at the very beginning of the pandemic, they told us that wearing a mask was not going to be effective. Then they changed their story. It turned out that they didn't want a run on masks. So they wanted healthcare professionals to have masks first, so they didn't tell people, including the local government here, that masks were actually going to be important. So that was at the national level. So people need to investigate, save clean water. We all want that for Downey and for all of our wherever you are. So, investigate things. Just because the city says that something is safe, clean water, that doesn't mean that. How about the standards? Have they shifted? Haven't standards shifted for what's safe, clean water? As private water companies.
Mr. Berrigan, just give me a minute.
Sure.
Mr. Herman, we're asking everybody to sit down because of the health orders. Sorry about that. You may continue.
So again, I just encourage everyone to investigate what does it mean to have truly safe, clean water. Again, that includes the council members. Maybe you've heard that the water is safe, but have you truly investigated with an open mind? I don't know if you have. I think if you do, you'll actually find that what is defined as safe these days is what was toxic a few decades ago. And that's because of, larger social forces that have changed the standards for what's clean water. So I think it's really going to be really important. Please, council members, the ones that are here, or in the ones in the future, we need true, safe, clean drinking water. Thanks.
Any other speakers?
Move to close public comment.
Is there a second?
Make a motion, we approve consent calendar.
To abstain or remove from an item? Okay, so there was a motion, there was a second. City Clerk Duarte, can we take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco?
Yes.
The motion was approved unanimously.
Thank you. The last item is an administrative report. Designation of delegate and alternates for League of California Cities Annual Conference, October 7th through 9th, 2020 in Long Beach. Adopt a resolution of City Council of the City of Downey designating voting delegate and alternatives for the League of California Cities Annual Conference. City Manager Livas, do we have someone providing a report?
Madam Mayor, actually, I think you pretty much gave the report. Essentially, what you need to do is appoint a voting delegate and an alternate or two.
I recommend that we.
Who are who's our representative and our alternate right now?
That would be
the meetings already.
That would be me. I'm the president of the LA division.
I recommend our mayor, since she's president, be the voting delegate.
I'll second that.
And alternate, I don't know who else. Sean or Claudia, you guys into it?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'll
Claudia?
second that.
Okay.
Second one.
And then we need another one?
One or two. You can choose one or you can choose another one.
Madam Mayor, do you plan on missing this?
No, I do not.
So I'd say
Then let's just vote on that and move on.
So I'll say Madam Mayor, and then alternates would be Councilmember Ashton and Councilmember Frometa.
Thank you. I will.
All right, I got thrown into this. Great.
You spoke up.
I'll second.
Thank you. Let me open it up to the public. Members of the public wishing to address the council regarding item number 10 may now call our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who have submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record, and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. City Clerk Duarte, do we have any speakers?
Mayor, we do not.
Do we have any written correspondence regarding this item to be read into the record?
We do not, Mayor.
Members of the audience who wish to address the council regarding item number 10 may come forward.
So, in resolving disputes of a dispute regarding the credentials to determine validity and signatures and petition resolutions, this shit fucking bugs. There you go.
What is he talking about?
Yeah. Resolving disputes, voting. Well, how do you vote? Well, you can't vote for anyone nowadays in California because they're all fucking corrupted.
League of Cities.
Mr. Herman,
20 annual
are you talking about
conference.
item number 10?
Madam, I'm speaking of the League of Asshole California Cities. Yes, I am. Thank you for addressing that. So please complete this form. There's a form, you put your voting delegate name, one or two alternatives. It could have been me, but you didn't want the sweet thing, so go with your little vote there. Thank you, Mr. Ashton, for that. And then you submit it, fax it, whatever. But going back to this voting shit. To cast the city's vote, a city official must have in his or her possession the city's voting card, similar to the one that I get from the Board of Supervisors. I'm just using this hypothetically as how to figure this shit out, right? Because most of us don't know what the fuck we vote for. We voted for Measure H, we got fucked. We voted for Measure S, we got stroked. And we still didn't complete the fire stations. We still didn't complete the parks. We still didn't fix our infrastructure. And you still want to raise the taxes.
Mr. Herman, you're not really on topic.
Conference.
Well,
about
we're on the conference voting procedures,
Focus.
Madam Speaker.
It's about the conference.
And the discussion during the annual League of California Cities is to confer the Expo resolutions to establish league policy. Right? Right. You want to confirm that? Good. Now wait. The business regarding, as I mentioned, here it is. The annual business meeting will be held Friday, which we already know, in Long Beach, where the mayor's mom died from COVID-19. God bless her fat ass soul.
Conference.
Yeah. COVID-19. I said it earlier. You told me I'm off topic. It's right here in this fucking manual, and I'm reading it right off the cover. So please don't interrupt me while I'm speaking. You continue to disrupt us during the Brown Act violations of my civil rights to engage in a political idea. It's only an idea, but now you make me offensive by your interruption. I'm a true wetback. I understand how to vote. I voted for the first time in my life for the 45th President of the United
Mr.
States.
Herman.
Yes, ma'am.
Stay on topic. That's not on topic.
So-
This is your warning. Next time you
My
will be
warning
removed.
and conclusion, Madam, City Council priorities should be responsible, deal with life, safety, and infrastructure, and public
Time's up.
engagement.
Thank you, Mr. Herman.
Move to close public comment.
There was a motion and a second.
There's somebody else that
I'll
wants
make
to
a
speak.
motion. Do we?
Was there a second? Sorry.
Thank you. Mike Greenspan, a Bruin butt-kicking Florida Gator, and sorry about my procedural error. This is my first council meeting over here, and I thought they were all bunched together. But League of Cities, usually these are conferences held in places like Sacramento or other places, but this time it's local, so we're not going to be wasting all the taxpayer money on extravagant, overpriced rooms with hotels run by union goons and union prices up, up, up. You just hop in your vehicle, maybe even hop in a city-issued vehicle from the motor pool and drive down there. Maybe you could even carpool there, but it'll be a wonderful experience, I'm sure. Probably similar to when I first got into umpiring, somebody talked about the softball rule changes. He said, yeah, they get together, they get drunk and change the rules. So I'm sure that part of it, you're going to get drunk. Maybe you could even, when getting drunk with other officials, hopefully you'll get your liquor from former City Council President and Assembly Speaker Herb Wesson and his partner Michael Bai of Torrance, who are in the liquor business. He's the preacher pushing liquor. He pushed liquor everywhere in L.A. Golly, isn't that interesting? That's funny. He preaches Jesus, and Jesus turned the water into wine, but Herb Wesson has to keep giving you liquor stores. And hey, just think, if he's Janice Hahn's colleague on the board, he'll give you liquor stores everywhere that's
Sir,
not.
please stay on topic.
I am. Okay. Anyway, maybe you can get Mr. Herman to go represent your city and vote. Well, can I give a good reason? I could probably give 5,000 good reasons why you would want Mr. Herman to go down there. And he won't get drunk, and he won't do a bunch of stupid stuff. And then, of course, all these liberal Democrats that are mayors of these cities, they'll go, boo on Trump, boo on Trump. Well, I got a wonderful idea. After all, those things, you send the resolutions to the White House, and they'll go into the round circular file, and then into the landfill in Washington. Isn't that wonderful? As I've told City Council in L.A., Board of Supervisors, or whoever else wants to do their boo on Trump thing, look, Democrats, win the next election, and then you run things the way you want.
Sir, this is your warning. You're not on topic.
Okay, well, I'm just giving an idea of what to expect at these conventions with the cities and the liberal Democratic mayors that have ruined those cities and liberal Democrats on their council, and just wanted to let it be known the way I feel about it. I mean, after all, win the election, then you get to ruin the country the way you want, but right now you got to put up with the current person in the White House. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At the League of California Cities annual conferences, you have basically a lot of partying, a lot of discussion. I would like to know exactly what you actually talk about. What substantive information do you really discuss there? What policies, what procedures, what protocols, and do you actually implement? And how much of it do you implement that into the city or incorporate it and make it a successful city. Because all the liberals, like Mr. Greenspan said, and Armando, the liberals and the Democrats have failed and failed miserably. It is my hope that the League of California Cities annual conference will bring about a new wave of blood, Republicans that will bring back America, restore this beautiful country, and lower the taxes, bring back public safety, and deportation of all criminal gangbangers. Restore the beauty of and elegance of America, but public safety is the most important thing. If you, Ms. Pacheco, can discuss that with all the other mayors, that the most important thing that people are yearning for is public safety. They don't want home invasion robberies. They don't want any criminal activity. They don't want homelessness. They want safety. They want a home. They're tired of being gang-stalked, attacked at any city council like they do at City Hall and County Board. Because if you say something, they gang-stalk you. Look up retired ex-FBI agent Ted Gunderson. Ted Gunderson talks about how people, anybody, including officers, including you, are being surveilled. You don't even know it, but you are. And he talks about that on...
Ma'am, you're not on topic.
Well, he discusses that, and it's important to know that because you're not bringing back forth information that is tangible, that is life-altering to people's lives. We Americans deserve a quality of life. No more, no less. That's what we want. And that's really what America is all about. Democracy, life, liberty, justice, and freedom. I want it just like everybody else. And damn well I deserve it. God bless Donald Trump and God bless America. And we want a Republican at City Hall in Los Angeles. No Mike Fuhr or
Again,
Mike
this is your
Bonin.
warning.
God bless America. God bless America and Donald Trump.
All right. This will be brief. When it comes to items that involve you assigning or appointing, you guys have not done your job in other areas that involve the same mechanisms. And you guys know who I'm talking about. When we ask you to amend the problems with your appointments and designations because they're not fulfilling that role, you guys have refused to do your job about it. So I'm going to point at that individual. And I'm going to say
Sir,
you guys are not going to, you're not doing your...
It's about the League of California Cities.
Yes, is the mechanism, does that not involve you guys assigning a position?
Sir, no.
Yes, it does.
Please stay on topic.
I'm going to clarify that you guys are not equipped or adept enough to assign anyone that's competent to do their job, and that's why there is no trust right now.
Sir, I'm going to warn you. If you do not stay on topic, you will not be able to speak on this item, and you will need to leave the council chambers for this item. This is a warning. Stay on topic.
Once again, I will reiterate, you guys are not competent enough to deliberate or appoint anyone, and I have no confidence in this current council. So with that said, that will end my comment.
Thank you.
You should resign.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there, City Clerk Duarte, can we take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Yes.
The motion is approved unanimously.
City Manager Olivas, do you have any comments?
Just a couple comments, Madam Mayor. Again, thank you for taking the tour of Station 3 today. It's one of the jewels of the Measure S program that we've put together. Despite some of the comments that you've heard, we've actually moved quite quickly through this process. It started over 3 years ago, and we're coming toward the end of it. Just did a tour of the library recently. The City Council has invested heavily in programs that benefit our youth. The parks basically have all been touched, which is a huge thing for us. We have a new paramedic engine system that the chief installed not too long ago, which also saves lives in our community. So these things are really important. They're things that when we did Measure S, the community told us they wanted. We have a brand new synthetic soccer field over at Discovery Park that can be used over and over and over again. We're about to break ground on a new park on Imperial here shortly, which is something that's even outside of Measure S that we've been working on. So there's a huge amount of things that are happening in town that if you had one of these things happen in any particular community, you would be very proud of. But we've had a number of these things happen in the community. So, and I think it shows in terms of what's happening in town, and as you drive through the town in terms of the streets, we've invested more money in our streets in the last 5 years than we've had probably in the previous 20 combined. So we continue to do that. We've continued to do outreach with our funding for federal funds and from county funds in order to make sure that we're successful in addressing the needs of the community. And that all begins with the goal setting that the council does every year. And we just don't set goals, we monitor them and we make sure that they're accomplished. What gets measured gets done. So if you look in your agenda packet tonight, there's a QR code. So anybody in the public that wants to see what the city accomplished, to take a picture of the QR code and it'll bring up all the city's accomplishments for this past fiscal year. And you'll see the number of investments that we have done, not only in public safety, but in the areas that affect children and education. Columbia Memorial Space Center, the library, the theater, the arts, every section of the city has been touched. So we continue to do that. The program, we're hoping will be concluded somewhere in September, October, and we'll finalize our Measure S program projects within the next several months. So all the promises that we said that we would keep, we are going to keep. So thank you very much. And I want to thank the staff that has worked really, really hard, all the department heads that have worked to make sure that we've made improvements at our police station, we've made improvements in our fire stations, we've made improvements at our parks, our library, again, all those sectors and our roads. And that's to the credit of the department heads and the staff in the city that work really, really hard. And I remind you that we have done this essentially with one of the lowest per capita amount of staffing in the county. So we kept our labor costs low, and we make sure that we deliver the highest service that we can possibly deliver to our residents. And so that's something to be very, very proud of. You know, the only thing I wish is that our residents can enjoy some of the park spaces right now because of the COVID, but nevertheless, they still are enjoying them. We have, walking trails and we have, beautiful park settings, and we've done a really nice job in those particular areas, and we'll continue to do them. So thank you to the City Council. We're nearing that end. We're almost there. We got a little bit more to go, and we'll be complete with our Measure S projects, which is a huge, huge undertaking. So thank you to everybody, and I thank you to John who managed those particular projects throughout the year. And so I appreciate, again, everybody's guidance on that. So again, the QR code, take a look at it. It brings up all the accomplishments for this year. Again, there are goals. We monitor them. We make sure that they're done. And we're very proud of what we've accomplished this year. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And I want to conclude just with saying it's a pleasure having everyone in attendance. I know many of you are watching us virtually on YouTube, and I did want to comment about the language that was used. Foul language is used, and I apologize for that. Unfortunately, there's nothing that we can do to prevent these individuals from saying foul language or saying language that some people find offensive because of First Amendment rights. So I apologize to those in the audience, and I apologize to those who are watching virtually. So I just want to conclude with telling everyone be safe, And I am now going to adjourn.
Madam Mayor, before you do that, can I just get 2 minutes?
Yes.
I just want to say something. I normally would not ever address this or ever say anything, but because, in the past, we've permitted Mr. Herman to come and voice his opinion. That's his right. But now he's doing a great job of recruiting people to come here. So those of you that's your first time here or watching us for the very first time, understand the city you're coming to. Understand when you cross that 710 freeway or 605 or 105 or 5 freeway, when you come here, understand you're coming to a city that has respect and honor and integrity. That's the basic. When you walk in the City Hall grounds, you see our veteran memorial, our police memorial, and our fire memorial. Yes, we tolerate the vulgar language and we tolerate the nonsense, but now we come to a point where on social media, you're attracting young students to talk back to us and disrespect us. And now you're encouraging people to come from LA County Board of Supervisor meeting or LA County or LA City Hall, their city council meetings to come here and bring that stuff here. We're not those people. We're a people of God, country, and family. We're a people that work hard. We're a people that 77% of us are Latinos, and a large percent of us own homes and business and have families. That's who we are. That's the person I was when I ran for office. I'm coming towards the end of my time at this dais, and I really pray and hope to God, whoever you choose to sit up here, replace me, has at least some moral fiber. And so I just want to take 2 minutes of your time. Sorry about that, but I sat here quietly this whole time. It's very difficult for me to sit here quietly, but I will tell you this, that's America, right? That's what our veterans fight for, those freedoms. That's America. So I'll do that. But at the same time, those of you that are watching for the first time, or those of you who came here for the first time and voiced your opinion for the first time, understand where you're coming to. So thank you.
Thank you. That was well said. Thank you. So now I'm going to adjourn the meeting in memory of the following Marines who died during an ambitious assault training accident off San Clemente Island. Lance Corporal Marco A. Barranco, 21, of Montebello. Corporal Cesar A. Villanueva, 21, of Riverside. Private First Class Brian J. Baltierra, 18, of Corona. Private First Class Evan A. Bath, 19, of Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Christopher Nim, 22, of Stockton. Private First Class Jack Ryan Ostrovsky, 21, of Bend, Oregon. Corporal Wesley A. Rod, 23, of Harris, Texas. And Lance Corporal Chase D. Sweetwood, 19, of Portland, Oregon. And all lives affected by COVID-19. A moment of silence. Meeting adjourned.